Hey ladies, welcome to this very special edition of Girls Guide Live. And today I am talking with Lauren Whittington, who is an amazing lady. And you may follow her on Instagram as I do. I found her. She is just so bubbly and up, mom of two young kids, a realtor, an online health coach. I don't even know how she does it all, but let's say hello to Lauren.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. So ladies, it's interesting. I want you to know that I interviewed Lauren for our upcoming Livy Girl Radio podcast. So that's going to drop in the next week or two. But I wanted her to go live because this is a topic, health and fitness, that's really, I'm realizing it's at the bottom of my priority list, but it needs to be up higher for mental well-being besides the physical well-being. So I just want to turn this whole time over to Lauren and let her do her thing. And at the end, we're going to come back for some live Q&A. So don't hesitate to put your questions in the comments below. We're going to get to as many as we can. All right, take it away, Lauren.
All right. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. So yeah, when I was asked to come on here live and kind of go through, almost what I would, from a coaching perspective, with potential coaches. And it's so funny, Judy, that you just said that, because I think the number one thing about us and what I really want to talk about today is how, becoming healthy and really living a truly healthy lifestyle, not a diet lifestyle and not a crazy exercise-aholic lifestyle, but a healthy lifestyle, a well lifestyle, really does trickle over into our businesses, into our family life, into all these different areas where we can become stronger, we can grow more in those areas, all because we took care of ourselves. So I really want to just focus on that today with you guys. Like Judy said, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to keep them coming and I'll answer them at the end. But first and foremost, and she just mentioned this, the thing that we have got to get well before anything else can get well, really, is our minds. A super trainer that works for our business that I love so much, Sean T, is probably one of the most motivating trainers I've ever had the pleasure of meeting and getting to know. And he always says, conquer your mind, transform your life. And I absolutely love that quote because it's so true. And I think for us as women, especially, it's very hard to get past the limiting beliefs that we have just as women.
Absolutely.
The lies we tell ourselves, or the lies that maybe other people have sown into us that we begin to believe. And, that can trickle over into so many different areas of your life, into your confidence, into you believing that you're able to accomplish goals that you set for yourself, for those kind of things that you should be able to believe that you can, but maybe you yourself or somebody else told you couldn't, and you believe it, and that's kind of where you stay, and that that you're kind of the status quo. So that's number one. And the way that I always tell people to help them to be able to conquer their mind is two things. And if one of these does not resonate with you, I understand. But for me, it's spirituality. So for me, that's God. I know that I have to get very connected to who I believe created me, and created, relationships and people, and the human body and all this stuff. I have to know what he says of me and I have to start believing that. The other thing that I think everybody can apply, no matter what you believe, is personal development. And I know that, if you've got any kind of coach in business, or, life coaching or anything, that they would recommend that you read or listen to personal development so that you can grow. It's in some way internally so that you can conquer your mind, so that you can, set goals, reverse engineer goals, so that you can believe that you can. And one of the books that I love to tell people to start with, for being able to kind of get your mindset right and getting well and getting your business well, your family well, your body well, is Eat That Frog. And basically what it is, and it's helped me a lot in real estate and just kind of having my own business as well, is that the basic premise is to do the things that you don't want to do the most first. And I know
I'm smiling because that's a mantra of mine. Swallow your frog.
Yes, eat that frog, because, for many of us in real estate, that's probably prospecting. Making calls. It's the thing that we put off, even though we know it's what's going to drive our business forward. It's going to help us communicate better. It's going to help us build relationships. It's that kind of thing. So for health and fitness, it's what is your frog? I mean, is it that I think a lot of women have that limiting belief, especially working women. I don't have time, so it's really swallowing that frog and going, I do have time. I have time to be a better me and to let that trickle down to my family, my kids, my business, all of that. So where can I find the time? So the other part of that, I love the book and I talk about it a lot. It's by Hal Elrod called The Miracle Morning. And it's really positioning yourself so that you can steal, a couple of hours before everything else gets going in the morning. And if you guys, I'm sure that you guys follow, lots of very successful coaches, successful realtors. I think there was some article I read that like almost every single US president wakes up between the hours of 4:30 and 5, gets a workout in, moves their body and starts their day. There's a reason for that. It's not because it makes them presidents or makes people, amazing CEOs, but it's because especially busy people like us, we don't feel like we have the time. By the time our alarm goes off and we're into our day, whether that's with kids or whether that's just our busy work day, the last thing we want to do is try and squeeze in a workout. And then I have so many women tell me this, it boggles my mind, but then I have to wash my hair. So many women will say like, oh God, I don't want to work out in the morning because I have to wash my hair.
That's me. Yikes, that would be me.
And so it's just,
but it's good that we're real, right, Lauren? I mean, that's good that we're sharing this. So you're not alone, ladies. You're not alone.
Not alone. Everybody thinks the same thing. And I just think it's so interesting that we work the things that we don't want to do up in our minds so big that it seems like this crazy, commute, and you got to get childcare and you got to work out for an hour and a half a day. And then you got to take a shower and redo and it just doesn't have to be that way. We build it up to be that way. But at the minimum, you should be moving your body about 20 minutes a day. And I think that's going to look different for a lot of people. I mean, for me, I'm at a point right now where I do high intensity interval training or weight training. And it's probably for about 40 minutes to an hour every day. And to me now, that doesn't seem like a lot of time because
okay. Can I interrupt and say something?
Yes.
I mentioned to Lauren that I saw a post, an Instagram post that she did where she's all sweaty and she looks so cute, all rosy cheeked because she just got done working out. And then you read the post and she said, I really didn't feel like doing this today. And I can't remember what else, but I want the ladies to know, and I'm also talking to myself, that we shouldn't think that people like Lauren that exercise every day say, woohoo, I can't wait to, go to, my room in the house or to the gym and do it. It's just something kind of like swallow the frog.
Yes.
You do it because you should.
Yes. I am so glad you brought that up because I think, and I was going to get there, is that, I think on that post I said sore throat, sick, and I apologize, you guys, I'm a little under the weather right now. But sore throat, sick, didn't want to, did it anyway, crushed my goals, felt good about myself. And I think that's really what it is, I like to teach women, especially like us, busy working moms, busy working women. It's not really, it shouldn't be about like the 10 pounds. I mean, I know some women are like very hung up on that and they're like, you need to lose 40 pounds or 50 pounds to be healthy. That there's a place to start for that. But a lot of women are like, I just want to wear a smaller size or that kind of thing. And I want to challenge you guys to get your why more around something bigger. Like I want to be more focused. I want to have more energy throughout my day. I want to be able to, not finish a work day or not have a weekend full of open houses and just crash when I get home because I'm just so exhausted. And so for me, it's that kind of mentality of, I don't want to do this, but I know if I don't, I'm going to stay feeling crummy. I'm not going to feel like I did something. I'm not going to feel like I accomplished anything, right? If I just stay in bed all day and work from my computer, which listen, there's days that I do. But it's that kind of mentality that like, look, I don't want to do this, but I have a goal and I want to be more productive in my day. I want to feel better. I want to be, bring more to the table. And I know that if all of us do that, if all of us get up and we break a sweat, we hydrate our bodies, we fuel our bodies, we will have more focused energy. We will be more productive in our day.
And more motivated to do more.
Yes, totally.
Right? Yeah.
And to say no to so many other things, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but if I wake up at 5, I get my workout in, I sweat, I'm already into like my hydration for the day and I'm feeling good. The last thing I want to do is go into an office meeting and eat 2 pieces of pizza. So it really keeps motivating you to kind of stay on track other areas of your health, because they all kind of go hand in hand. So yeah, I think that is a great point, is that most days, and Judy probably knows this from my Instagram and from our other conversations that we've had, but most days you're not going to want to do it. I mean, most days. Every now and then you're going to be like, I feel like I'll go for a run, or I feel like I'll get on a Peloton bike or go to a class. But most days you're going to be like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to exert energy. And I always say, and I think I got this from Mel Robbins, who, if you haven't read the 5-second rule, it's basically all about incredible. And it's basically like a neurological study that says if you do a countdown to something, your body wants to take action. And so she does like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go for anything, whether it's waking up early, whether it's not hitting snooze. But she always says, listen, nobody's coming to knock on your door and say, hey, Lauren, you have goals. Hey, Lauren, you wanted to close 3 deals this month. So where are you? You know, if you're lucky, you have a coach or somebody, or a health coach or a coach in any area of your life that's there to motivate you for the moment or for the week or for the day. But it's got to come from you, you know. Yeah. And so it's you've got to have those goals. And I think that's why it's so important to set goals, to then look back and say, okay, what am I doing to be able to get there? You know, am I going to happy hours 3 days a week and not able to wake up early because I feel crummy? You got to change that behavior. It has to be, you know, you that does it. No one's coming to really push you into that.
Right. And if I can just pause on that, that is huge. And so I have that in my business life. I don't yet have it in my health life, but you know, some ladies that I speak with, they say they want something, but they're not committed to it. So I'm all about commit. You can say, I want $1 million, but if you're not committed to do the hard work to get there, then it's not going to happen. And so even some of the ladies in some of our courses or in our coaching, our group coaching in particular, some of them are like, well, you know, aren't you supposed to be motivating me? And, you know, we do what we can in that regard, but I can't want your success more than you want success. Right. Yes. And so, you know, I look at myself in the mirror and I say, ooh, I don't like the way things are moving, but really it's only me. It's all up to me. And that's exactly what you're saying. So I love that, Lauren.
Yeah, totally. And I think, you know, just like you said, if you don't want it bad enough. So to me, and I know you guys have probably heard this many times over, Simon Sinek is also one of my favorite authors. And he wrote, oh gosh, I'm going to mess it up, but it's basically about finding your why. And I think you really need, in health and fitness and overall wellness in your business, you really need to really like ultra focus on what that why is. And sometimes that changes from month to month or year to year. But I think like if you don't have a clear reason why, then you won't be your own cheerleader. You won't motivate yourself. Your goals won't seem that important, you know? And some people get pushed into that. Some people are like, you know, I mean, my doctor told me I have to lose 50 pounds or like, I'm probably going to have a heart attack. Well, that's a huge why to be able to get up every morning and start that commitment, you know. Some people don't. So, I mean, it really has to be, you know, you have to kind of look within, and whether it's business, whether it's health, and say, you know, what is it that I feel that I'm not being able to accomplish because I'm not well, or because I don't put myself first, or because I don't have a self-care routine at all. And I don't, you know, and I think this is so important. And the whole kind of thing I want to give to you guys about wellness and why it's so important for you is we talked, me and a teammate of mine on the health coaching side talked about, I don't know where we got this from, so I'm not going to quote anything, but it was basically like, if you see this beautiful vase that they're going to fill up with flowers. Okay. She was saying like, you know, if you got to put water into it, and if the water going into it is like confidence and joy and focus and energy and rest and beauty and all these different things, the more that goes in, the more of all that goes in, if it's just like a constant pour, it starts to overflow out of the pitcher, you know, and it starts to go into your family relationships and your business relationships and all this stuff. Like if you're not putting in that goodness, which in my opinion comes from having a plan, it comes from, you know, good counsel, And it comes from growing yourself personally with personal development, with faith, if that's something that you feel strongly leads you. But if you're not getting all of that in, you can't spread it to other people. And she said, if a vase has nothing in it and one little thing throws it off course, what happens? It shatters. And she was saying, if you're just not filling yourself up with all that good stuff, knowledge, growth, all that, you're broken. You need it. You need to focus on you so that can overflow to everybody else in every other area of your life.
I love it. I love it. So can I interrupt and ask a simple question?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's actually, to me, it's kind of a hard question, but for you, it'll be easy. Okay. So for someone like me that's been resistant like this, and I know I need to do it, and my husband and I started a pseudo diet in July, and that was great until the holidays, and now we're like, screw it,
Yeah.
And we know we got to get back into it. What are the little steps that'll take us to where we really need to go, where we really need to get to?
Okay, perfect. So I think what you said, my husband and I started a pseudo diet, learn from that. So I think what you probably learned from that is that didn't work. That wasn't sustainable. And so I would really look at what can be sustainable. So any kind of diet is just not going to be for the long term. You're going to feel like you quit. You're going to feel like you failed. And so I would say, do your research. And I always say this, but Google it. Google, what is a sustainable diet? What does a healthy diet look like? For me in my business, I promote a portion controlled diet that's nutrient dense. So instead of saying, and I don't want to step on any toes, but like different like diet companies will have you count points or count macros and that kind of thing. And while that's all well and good, that's leaving out a lot of nutrients because we can all survive on basically flavored air and 100-calorie packs and feel good about it because we only ate 200 calories for a snack or whatever, but we're missing out on the nutrients. So I would say the best thing to do is get very clear. And if you need a coach for this, which I feel most people do, I mean, my own husband has a hard time understanding like what's a better option, one thing versus the other. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you really need somebody to help you distinguish that. You need a plan. But mostly, I would say you can start with trying to eat vegetables at every single meal. I know that's hard for some people. I'll tell you, for me, my breakfast is usually like 2 eggs, any kind of way, and coconut oil. And then I'll add like a handful of just like microgreens, arugula, spinach, or like a pot full because it cooks down. And then if you want to have toast or something, whole wheat toast or something, that's fine. But I try to get veggies in with every single meal and then eliminate processed foods. So if you're following any kind of fad diet or any kind of counting points diet or anything like that, it's mostly processed food. They don't really care about the nutrients that are going in. They just care that the calories are low. And what that can do is that can mean that your body, while you might feel full from sugar or fake sugar, your body is starving. So that's why you continue to want to eat because your body hasn't had the nutrients nourish parts of your body that it would need.
Mm-hmm. Can I interrupt? I love what you said about the breakfast. I love eggs. And so that sounds good. And I could do, what do you call those things? Green peppers and throw that in and tomatoes and onions. Maybe I make like an omelet.
Yeah.
And you're saying that's good.
That's great. I mean, I would just force yourself to just say, I mean, every single, like, for instance, I have a friend who does this too. And I kind of started doing it as well. She just says, like, with every meal, I'm going to have a salad, period. And now that's not like a salad drenched in salad dressing, but like a side salad. And we eat that first because what's happening? Our body's getting all of those antioxidants and fiber and nutrients, and it's getting full. And then by the time we have a slice of pizza, if it's a Friday or Saturday night, we have a slice instead of 4. So I would say try and fill up on greens and veggies first, and fruit. Fruit is your friend. Fruit is not scary. And then, if you're going to treat yourself, I would say just make sure you try to fuel up on veggies and then go for the treat.
Okay. I have one more question. Okay. In this diet that I followed, they taught us low carb, not no carb. You need carbs, but very low. So tomato was not a good vegetable, and fruits were not good because they had So I kind of trained my mind to think that. And then when we got off the diet and didn't want to pay, $400 or $500 a month to get this processed crap that has the fake whatever. And I never liked it, but it really did work.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I have to retrain my mind to what's acceptable and what's not acceptable.
Yes. And I think that's the very hard. I get so upset when I hear that because that's what's so hard. I mean, I was somebody that, well, I'm almost 5'8". I'm, growing up, I was the biggest girl out of everyone. I was 5'8" at 11 years old. So I tried everything to be like smaller, basically. And I tried Atkins at one time and it was low carb. And it took me probably 3 years to train my brain that like you're saying, like a tomato is not going to make you fat. I mean, that's insane. But yeah, so I think you do have to retrain your brain. And what your brain needs to be trained to is nutrients. And if you don't know what kind of nutrients your food has in it, Google it. So for instance, like tomatoes, there's so many good nutrients in tomatoes, like lycopene. It's really good for your brain, your skin, that kind of thing. So I always say, like, eat for the fuel and the growth and development of your body. I don't 100% stick to this, but I am super for a vegan diet because you're getting everything your body needs and it's all super easy to digest. So I would think of it that way, is like, obviously if you're going to be eating animal protein, don't do for instance, milk. I'm just not a fan of milk, but if you do drink milk, it's probably better to have like a 2% milk with a little more fat, little less sugar than it is to have like the watered down 0%, zero fat milk, because guess what they add to make it taste good? Sugar.
Yeah. Okay.
So
how about meat? How about those of us that aren't vegan? What's okay? What's good?
Yeah. So meat, I would just say lean. Nowadays you can pretty much get it anywhere. So I would stick to fish, like cod, salmon, shrimp, shellfish, that kind of thing first, and then go to like your lean poultry. So turkey, chicken, and then steaks. That's all not bad for you. It's just in moderation. So I would say like any kind of red meats, I would just eat those for like, more of like a special occasion and not necessarily like your everyday protein option.
Okay. I'm sorry. I really don't mean to be leading this conversation.
No, ask me anything you want. I think
that's great. So can you tell us what, like, just every meal, because that would be helpful for everybody coming back here live. There's 6 people watching now. There's going to be, I'm sure, dozens and maybe a couple of hundred by the time this thing keeps going and going.
Yeah.
What's a really great lunch option or two and dinner option or two that's easy?
Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys 2 things for lunch. One of them you'll probably be like, that's not my favorite, but the second one I think you'll like.
Okay.
But I'm just happy to eat salads for lunch. I mean, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Some people really do. So a salad, and when I say salad, I mean get yourself like a glass mixing bowl at your house, and fill that up with greens. So whether that's baby spinach, arugula, anything that's, like a soft green, not iceberg lettuce, but something that's got a lot of nutrients in it.
How about romaine? Is that good or bad?
It's okay. I mean, it's not bad.
And why is it bad? Because it's a light green?
It just doesn't have a lot of nutrients. It's got a lot of water, which is good, but it doesn't have a lot of nutrients. So a good tip for finding like nutrient dense foods, which are going to fill you up faster. So that's really the point. And they're going to be useful to your body, much more useful to your body to process, is going to be the darkest greens you can find. So spinach, kale, that kind of stuff.
Yucky stuff, but okay.
Well, you can make it good. So if you fill that up, I like to do, I get wild caught tuna and I mix it up with like a half of an avocado, pico de gallo. And by the way, you guys, for everyone watching on here, I'm happy to give you guys a free meal plan PDF. For all the watchers or the viewers on here, so that it'll make it easier. But I basically make like a healthy avocado-based tuna salad, put that on top of my greens, and then I'll do balsamic and I'll do lime, a little bit of grapeseed oil, and I'll mix it all up. And it's so good. It tastes like a dressing from the store and it fills me up. Now, if you are just like not a salad person and you're like, oh, I can't get around on salads, I would say look for your healthy frozen veggie options and add protein. So for me, there's, they have them everywhere now. I usually get them at Trader Joe's, but I know they have them even at Walmart. It's like a bag of cauliflower, what is that? Fried rice, basically. It's like a mock fried rice. And the rice is cauliflower, but it's got peas and carrots and all kinds of things in it, maybe some seasoning. You put it in a pan, mix it up with some shrimp or chicken or whatever you have, and then you've got lots of veggies that taste like a carb, a protein. And then I would always say have a side of fruit. We work off of a portion control system. So fruit for us is like 1/3 cup, which is actually a good amount of fruit, like per snack per meal. And then you usually have like 4 to 5 servings of fruit a day, 4 to 5 servings of veggies a day, 3 to 4 proteins, depending on your body composition. But I will say in the meal plan that I'll give you guys, I work on portion control. So we're not cutting out any carbs. We're not, totally losing that because you will want it later and you'll binge on it. So it's just, portions that fit your body type, basically.
Okay. So can I ask a couple follow-up questions?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, portion control. So are we not worried about calories?
Not really. So basically what our program does is we say we want people to eat all different types of foods, but we want to make it basically congruent to your goals. So for me, if I want to lose weight, I know that I want to stay in the 12 to 1,300 calorie bracket. And then that tells you how much of each thing you can eat. A lot of people on our program are just maintaining and they're like in a 2,000 calorie bracket. So, your containers or your portions go up based on what your goals are, basically.
Gotcha. Okay, excellent. And then the meal plan, do you care to give me the URL? Is it easy? And then I'll put it in the comments after we get off.
Yes, and we have tons of different ones. And if anyone's watching this and they are interested in getting a health coach like myself, we've got a huge accountability group of over 100-something women. We have on-demand fitness to where you can choose from like 40-something different programs that fit your lifestyle where you don't have to leave your home. You just stream it to your device. So you can get it in every day and really make it a lifestyle. And then we also have this amazing superfood shake because if you guys heard me talk a lot about nutrients and getting nutrients in, it's very difficult to get all the nutrients we need from our food alone. So it's just a superfood shake with lots of anti-inflammatory agents and a little bit of protein, chia seeds, flax seeds, all the good stuff that your body needs to be nourished. But I will get you guys, we have probably like 6 meal plans right now. One's vegan, one's pescatarian, one's, just regular vegetarian. So yeah, I'll get that over to you guys as a resource.
Okay, awesome. And so what were you just saying that I had a good follow-up question? Darn it.
I don't know.
Anyway, can we transition to exercise now?
Yes. So my goal, or I always say like for your goal to not live like a sedentary lifestyle, instead of saying like, I'm going to start this program and it's going to be weights and I'm going to lose 40 pounds. It's best to start with like, what truly can you do? And just like you said at the beginning about really committing, it's going to be hard for somebody to commit to something that they really don't think they can do. I always want to push people a little further because you can always do more than you think you can do, but it's let's commit with what you can do. So I always say like, how much time do you think you could steal away in the mornings or at night? Like how much time really, or at lunch, and people usually say about 20 to 30 minutes. So with people who've been completely stagnant and not worked out at all and are very nervous about it, I always just say, me. Yeah. So I always just say for the first week, either do one of our programs that are like kind of easing you into a program like a dance workout or a yoga program, or simply walk 10 minutes away from your house and 10 minutes back and like start there. Because I think people will see once they're like, okay, for 20 minutes, I moved my body constantly. And I did it. I was able to do that for 4 days this week. Then you can see that A, you have the time, and B, you can move, you can do something, and you can kind of work your way up to whatever level you want to get to. I mean, not all of us want to be, I told somebody the other day, like, listen, you're not trying to be a bikini competition person. You're just trying to be healthy, so it's what works for you. So that's kind of where we start. But I would say as a baseline, 20 minutes a day. And if you're someone who needs structure and you need to grow and you need to see yourself get stronger, I would definitely recommend doing an at-home program where you don't have to get everything together and go to a gym, but it's something that is a daily workout that you can follow every single day at home.
Okay. Yeah, because, and I remembered my question. My question was, I know when I was doing good on my diet, I was feeling better. I looked better. My clothes fit better. And now I just feel bleh. So, But I'm curious now, since you've gotten into this program, whatever it is, whatever it's called, okay? Can you tell us really how it's changed your life, if it has? I mean, do you feel different?
Totally. I think that the way that it's changed my life mostly is that it's doable for me. I now am doing a program. You guys might have heard of it. It's called 80-Day Obsession. And it's intense. And before that, I was doing something a little less intense. But it has changed my life because I can stick to it. And I think that's what's so hard with something else. Now, what you just mentioned about your diet, what people say is true. Diet is 80%, how you're going to lose weight. And, exercise is like really tightening and toning and getting stronger, right? You burn a lot of calories in exercise, but you have to make sure you're putting the right calories in your body. Mm-hmm. So I think having that portion controlled system where I can see how much food I'm supposed to have. And if I go to a birthday party or something, I know, okay, if I'm going to have a piece of cake and just totally blow, a carb or whatever, then for the rest of the day, I'm probably going to focus on really nutrient dense foods, lean meats, that kind of thing. And then with exercise, it's the same thing. It's like at the beginning, I couldn't do it really. And there's a modifier. So it was easy for me to like start there. Somebody was doing stuff with no weights. And then week 2, I'd add 5 pounds. And then week 3, I was doing the same stuff with 15s. And it's more than like the weight dropping off and feeling good about yourself. You're also like, man, I know I'm getting stronger because I'm able to do more. And that's what I think is like what has changed my life is having something so trackable to where it's like, I can see change, even if it's not on the scale. I can see change all the time, whether I'm getting stronger. If it's not moving on the scale, it's because I'm, going out too much or I'm not eating right. And I know that, and I can kind of tweak it and I can always get back on track. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the goodness of not sticking to like a fad diet, but just following something that works where you're not limiting yourself from everything. And if you go off a little bit, you can come back on and, your plan is not blown. You just need to kind of like get back to the basics and move forward. So
that's excellent. And so would you agree then that this lifestyle really makes you a better mom, I'm just asking because I felt like a more powerful person when I was really into it and I could kick myself in the butt for stopping. So I just encourage ladies because I think there are more ladies listening like me than like you.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. And I think, like when people say all the time, like, why'd you become a coach? I became a coach really for my own accountability. Because I knew if I was trying to help other people do exactly what I was doing, I would stick to it better. And so for me, that was just a little bit more accountability. And I was going to say that about any kind of wellness program, any kind of goal that you set for yourself for wellness or for health, tell someone about it. If you don't join something like us, where we have like a coach sisterhood and, we're like an accountability group, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell somebody like, hey, I'm sticking to this. So I'm going to check in with you next week. Because when you put it out there, it helps you commit, like you're saying. And it makes you feel like, it's a little thing that you can check off. Even if it's like, for me, sometimes it's hydration. I'm like, oh my gosh, I drank 3 of my water bottles today. I'm doing like amazing on hydration, and it's like, it's something small you can check off to where it's like, I did that. I accomplished that. I felt good about it.
See, I love that. I'm really big on celebrating the small wins.
Yes.
Like just getting back to real estate, you were talking about how cold calling, whether that's on the phone or door knocking or even just reaching out to your sphere, sometimes it can be like the last thing you want to do. So when you actually do it and reach out to 10 people or 20 or however many, 50, whatever, you should really congratulate yourself. And so I love that too with the health. Yes. If you move your body 20 minutes today, yay. Hey. And that doesn't mean eat a chocolate cake. But it means, go buy, maybe after a whole week, maybe you can go buy yourself some new perfume or something. I don't know.
Yes. And I think, same thing like with cold calling, for me, I don't know why, but it's so much easier for me to call people I don't know, like expireds, than it is to call my sphere. But if I call my sphere and then 2 people say, oh, you know what? I was actually just going to reach out to you. Yes, we need to list our home in a few months or whatever. I feel so good about that for the day. I'm like, why didn't I do that? Like, why am I scared of this?
Yeah, the worst they can do is they'll hang up on you. No biggie.
Yeah. But it's the same thing with health and wellness where it's like, I didn't want to do whatever, work out, or I didn't want to say no to the cookies or whatever. But then immediately after, it's like a pat on the back moment of like, I did it. I'm so proud that I did that. And you get this increased energy, to where you're able to be, working a little bit harder, or, spending really focused time with your kids and not trying to do 17 other things that you didn't feel like you had time to do that day. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So yeah, I think really having a plan, really sticking to that plan. And if you don't think you can stick to it yourself, having an accountability partner who can help you stick to it, I think is what's going to help the most.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what else was I going to say? One thing I want to say, when you were saying back early on, I didn't get a chance to interject, but I think this is really important, especially in this group. Girls Guide, we're all girls. And it's so funny, the number of men that try to join us. And I not only decline, but I block them because I don't want them to see what we're doing if there's some other way they can. But I just want us ladies to know we beat ourselves up too bad. And as I mentioned this before 1,000 times, we speak to ourselves in a way that we'd never allow anybody to speak to our best friend.
Yes.
So we really got to be more gracious to ourselves, but also to understand that, when I was growing up, I was raised by a feminist mom. And boy, I hated that women came from Adam. I'm like, no, what are we, second-class citizens? I really hated it, really. And then in Bible study, I learned that women are the crown jewel of God's creation. He saved the best for last. And so I just want us to know that, we might want to be listing queens, but you're already a queen because we are really the crown jewel of God's creation. And so as we're struggling with these things, a lot of which is in our own heads and not reality, like health and how I look and is it not good enough and is it whatever, I'm trying to talk to myself, and I'm telling you, because I love you ladies and I love you, Lauren, you know that, you are the crown jewel of God's creation. Whether you know God or not, you are. That's a fact. That is truth. And so when you're feeling crappy about yourself, just think about that. I mean, that's powerful.
Yeah. And when you're feeling crappy about yourself, just know that's a lie. Just like you're saying. And that's what I always go back to too, is like, I am beautifully and wonderfully made. And God made me for a purpose. And when I believe that I'm fat or I'm ugly or I don't have a purpose or I'm not reaching people or I'm not stepping into my passion, that's a lie. And I talk about that a lot too. And I think a big part for me and for my team of wellness is getting over those lies, those limiting beliefs, and just that alone will bring action.
Yes.
When you believe that's a lie and that's not who I am and that's not who God calls me to be and that's not what other people think of me. So that's not what I'm going to think of myself. Boom, you take action. You just do. It's like a chemical reaction in your brain.
I love it. And the sister or brother of what you just said is feelings are not to be trusted.
Yes.
Feelings are not to be trusted. So if you don't feel like doing something, say, oh, well, who cares? I'm not going to rule my life by feelings, because feelings oftentimes are liars. What do I mean? I'm scared. Well, what are you scared of? You're not going to die if someone, hangs up on you. You're going to be fine. It's a lie. It's a lie. Feelings are a lie. Do not live your life by them, because you're just going to miss out on so much.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. That's
okay.
good.
Excellent. Well, listen, there is one question so far, and I think it's someone who joined late. She says, what salad dressing do you use? So I know you mentioned that earlier, but that sounded so yummy. Okay, let me just say this. I don't cook. Okay. And so when you say things like throw a little bit of this, that, and the other, I'm thinking, oh my God, how much? Is it a teaspoon or like a quart? I mean, I don't know. Okay. That's one thing. And the other thing is when you're saying throw into a pot, like the frozen veggies and then some chicken or some shrimp, I'm freaking out. Okay. Because I don't know what that means. Do I have to cook the chicken first to get it done and then throw it in? So if you can just address the salad dressing and the other question, that would be super.
So no, that's a really good question. And you're right. I think I get so used to like how I cook. I'm like,
I'm just an idiot. I don't cook.
No. But no, for salad dressing, that's going to be an area where so much sugar and fat is added to like store-bought dressings that just don't need to be there for it to taste good. So I will usually get, I can see it over there, but I won't grab it. Like a shaker bottle, like a blender bottle.
It's okay. If you want to, you go ahead.
Okay, here, I'll show you.
Yeah. Okay. That would be cool. Believe me, it's worth the wait.
Okay.
I'm clueless.
One of these from like the market or whatever, or it's really for like protein shakes, but I'll just do this. And I'll usually make it for like the week. So I'll put in, and this is old Energized for my workout, so sorry. But I'll put it in like, let's say maybe the juice of like 3 lemons. I'll put in maybe like 3 tablespoons of honey, 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, maybe 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then I'll shake it up so that it's all blended with this. And I just leave it in my fridge like that and use it. So if I see that it maybe goes up to here and I just need to redo that recipe one more time to have more, then I'll do that. And I'll send you that recipe too, because I put that on like everything for salads. It's so good. But
yeah,
if you don't want to make your own, there are some good. Bolt House is really good nutrient wise. It's basically all the creams are based from like Greek yogurt instead of like cream and mayonnaise and that kind of stuff. So that's really good. And then they're like Italian dressings are just really simple ingredients. So they're not adding a lot of stuff. So I would check out Bolt House.
And what are you saying? Can you spell that, please?
Yes. Bolt, like a lightning bolt.
Oh,
Bolt House.
Okay. Cause I don't remember seeing that. Is that in regular stores? I'm just unaware or.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's in the refrigerated section though, instead of like the regular, one of these from like.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss any comments. So sorry about that.
No.
Okay, great. Okay. So that's the salad dressing issue. Excellent.
Yes. And okay. For prepping, I just like to make sure, like, with every meal, you should have veggies, a protein, a carb, pretty much veggies, a protein, and a carb. Sometimes it's in the
I'm not going to look at the comments. I'm sorry. I'm messing up.
So what I'll do is I'll bulk prep, like, let's say in the air fryer or in the Instant Pot. I'll take frozen chicken breasts and I'll put like 6 of them in there. And I'll just put like some low sodium seasoning. You can get, like even Mrs. Dash seasoning is good, or you could use a salad dressing, or I use Hidden Valley Ranch. Like I get a huge thing of it at Walmart and I use that as seasoning. And then I add pink Himalayan salt and I get a huge thing of that too. So I just cook that up and then I'll put that in a prep tin or like a prep container. And then I'll do shrimp, just very simple seasoning, maybe salt and pepper with maybe a little bit of grapeseed oil. And I use grapeseed oil because it's odorless and flavorless. So I just use it like for the sauciness of it. It doesn't really taste like anything. And so I'll just cook the shrimp up and then I'll cook up zucchini noodles. So I'll spiralize a bunch of zucchini, like maybe 8 or 9 zucchini. And I'll have those prepped. And so then as I go throughout the week, if I find something easy like that fried rice frozen thing, I will literally throw that in a pot and it cooks really fast because it's just vegetables. And then I'll add in whatever protein I had already had prepped.
Gotcha. Okay.
So to me, that's the easiest way to do it. So you're not like making a meal for every meal, So yeah, I'll do that a lot. And then in the meal plans that I'll send you, we've got, ways to dress up your protein to where, like you add zucchini noodles and a little bit of like red Thai curry sauce. It's like a curry meal. But if you add a little bit of marinara, now it's like a pasta. So, it's ways to kind of dress up your meal prep with what you have instead of creating all these different meals.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Ladies, if you have questions, we're going to wrap up shortly. So if you have questions, throw them in there. I do have a question. How about cheese? You mentioned milk not being good. Is cheese something we really avoid?
Well, I don't think milk is bad per se. I think a lot of people do have a lot of aversions to it. And I think it upsets a lot of people's stomach even more than they might know. But I don't think it's bad. In my meal plan, we have an area for cheese, but it's just really small. It's like, and I usually will have like feta cheese if I'm just kind of missing the cheese, or I'll have like a cheese stick, like shredded cheese if I just really want cheese. But I just try not to add cheese as a seasoning, which I think a lot of us do, especially in the US. Like, any kind of Mexican soup or any kind of thing, we always add shredded cheese, and like it's just a ton of fat that's not needed. So I always say if you're like craving dairy, like if you really want it and you feel like you're missing it, add it in a little bit, but don't use it as like a flavoring, because that's where you're going to tack on a lot of extra fat to your meals.
Okay. And for those of you that may have come late, Lauren is gracious enough to share with us a meal plan. And did you say a recipe? One of the things we talked about?
Yeah. So the meal plan will come with little recipes, like in the PDF. So whatever it says on the meal plan, you can make those recipes. I'll put a grocery list too. And this is what I give my my customers who sign up with me for coaching. It'll be like a week of grocery lists, recipes, and meal plan, and you just prep it and you just follow that. So give it a try.
Awesome. I'm excited. I don't see any other questions. Is there anything that you wanted to touch on, Lauren, that we did not in our time together?
I don't think so. I think just, I guess like my biggest takeaway is that, really I think nowadays we just don't think about our health. We think so much more about how we can be skinnier, which will be a byproduct of you really focusing on your health. But I think for anybody, ages 30 and up, it's just so important to get healthy. And the way to do that is not to cut out food groups and get skinny. The way to do that is to nourish your body with the stuff that it needs so that it can work the way that it's meant to work. And I think, unfortunately, with our food system, we don't get a lot of those nutrients. And so that's what you should focus on for your focus, for your, mental aptitude, for energy. You should focus on adding nutrients in, not taking things out. And so I always just want to stress that with people, because I think people think, oh, if I'm eating greens, it means I'm taking out all the yummy stuff. No, add in greens. Like if you want to eat eggs for breakfast, add in greens, add in nutrients, and really think of it that way. And again, if you're not sure what's good for your body, call somebody like me, or call a friend, call a doctor, and really get clear on that. Because we want to make sure that we're living in a wellness culture and not just a lose weight culture. You will feel so much better when you're well and not just trying to diet.
Yeah. And I love what you're saying, Lauren, because let's be honest. Some of the ladies will look at you and say, she's young, she's pretty, and she's thin. So it's easy for her. But, and to be honest, I never had to watch my weight until I hit 45. And now I'm 53 and it's like, yikes. Oh my gosh. And I can feel like my bones are not good, So I love that you're a young, pretty girl and you're saying, this is not about looking great in the bikini.
No,
it's about something so much more important than that. And so I love that you're emphasizing that.
Yeah. And I'll be very honest. I mean, I did always have to watch my weight as a woman. And I'm probably 10, 12 pounds heavier than my skinniest weight. But I'm okay with it because, again, that's just not my goal. And I will say that takes a lot of mental, overcoming, because that was always my goal. I want to be skinnier than I was before, and before I had kids. And then it just came down to, no, I need to treat my body the right way, or I'm not going to be able to do all the things that I can do. So I think that is the main key, is to really get over like those things that maybe aren't realistic. I mean, I still think I need to look like a 19-year-old, and that's just not going to happen.
Yeah. The age doesn't go backwards. I wish it did. Darn it.
I know, but it's like, that's just not realistic, and it's hard for us sometimes to get there. We already feel like failures when we're in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, and we don't look like a 19-year-old model. And it's like, that's crazy. That's crazy that we would think that. So I would encourage you, like, if that's your issue, that you can't get over, like, I don't fit into my jeans from 15 years ago, that needs to be broken in your brain. And you need to move toward, like, what does your healthy, well lifestyle look like now? And I think that's the hardest part. And I think that's why people need coaches and they need accountability partners for that very thing. So.
All right. And one last question. And this is a big ask, so don't be afraid to say no. Okay. And I don't mean to put you on the spot. Okay. But for crazy people like me, I mean, I am going to be in touch with you because I need this. And I didn't bring you on. I'm not making any money from this. And this really wasn't about your business, but it's helpful for the ladies, right? So I'm wondering, do you have like a exercise cheat sheet of like quick things you can do, even in 10 minutes, or like office, when you're sitting at your chair, things to do to get, some movement going? Is there anything like that?
Yes, definitely. And I can send that. I think I might have a video of that, so that might even be better.
Yeah.
But yeah, even down to, if you get a chair that doesn't have a back on it, or like a ball, or yeah, I mean, just little things that you can do when you have to be sitting at a computer all day, or little things you can do like when you're going to get your lunch or going to grab a coffee. Yes, there's totally things you can do. And a lot of that is getting up every hour and moving.
Okay.
Whether it's walking around your desk, getting on your calls, walking around, or actually doing a workout move. But there's ways that you can make your day-to-day not so static. For
Okay.
sure.
Love that. Love that. Love that. All right, Lauren, thank you so much. And I know what's going to happen as ladies watch this, not live, but after, they're going to be like, where's the meal plan? Where's the exercise things?
Yes. I will send it to you immediately after we get off this, because that's definitely like the first thing people ask for. So I'll get it to you.
No, that's great. And, I just so thank you for your time today, Lauren. And I can't wait. Ladies, as I said, you're going to get notice when Lauren's podcast drops, because it's more of this good stuff that we can listen to again and again and again. And more than listen to it, let's really hold each other accountable. Maybe we can kind of have an informal thing where it's like, okay, who's on the Lauren plan of, portion? I mean, I'm not like, who's going to move 20 minutes a day? Like, and let's hold each other accountable.
Start today. I would challenge you guys to come back in the chat, or back on, the page, and say like, hey, I moved 20 minutes a day, or hey, I added greens to my lunch and my dinner today. So let's see it in the chat.
I love it. I love it. Let's do it. Well, Lauren, thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I love coming on. Thanks so much for having me.
Sure. My pleasure. Ladies, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.